My name is Rita Kabata. I'm the technical officer in charge of production, in charge of this plant, Mukango Water Treatment Plant. This is where we treat water that we supply to Embu County, Embu Town and its environs, Mbere, Kiritiri, all those areas. This is where we treat all that water. Our water comes from River Rupingazi. We tap our water at a place called Mwiria. That's where our intake is. At the intake, that's where water treatment begins. Because there we have fitted sieves, that is the bar screens, core screens, and the fine screens, to ensure that we remove all the floating matter in the water. After, we meter that water, and then the water comes down to the treatment plant. That's where we do both physical and chemical treatment. So at Mukango, our main, our core duty is to treat water. But just before we begin our duty of treating water, we have a generator. The water turns turbines and we generate our own power. So when you come to the plant, there are two plants. There is the older plant that was done by Embu Water internal funding, and there is the new plant that was done by JICA through the Japanese people. The first treatment after the water turns turbines, the first process is coagulation. In coagulation, we add a chemical called aluminium sulfate that is supposed to coalesce the dirt in the water. The colloids, some of the colloids are very fine. They'll never settle on their own. So we add or we introduce aluminium ions in the water so that they can attract with the colloids because they are of negative, they are of opposite charges. So when they meet, the coalesce through thorough mixing, the coalesce, and through flocculation process, flocks are formed. The flock is a bigger particle, bigger in size, it is denser than water. So after flocculation, we detain that water for about 4.5 hours in our plant. The reason for detaining that water is so that to enhance settling of this big particle. So in a process called sedimentation, settling occurs. The water becomes clearer, after which we pass the water through filtration. The process of filtration, in that process, we pass water through a filter medium. The filter medium is sand, but the sand is graded into different sizes. So we pass the water through the filters, and the water comes out sparkling clean. It is only then that we add the disinfectant. And the disinfectant we use in our plant is chlorine powder. So we apply the chlorine, and then again we put it in the tank, contact tank, for a contact period of not less than 30 minutes to enhance chlorine works on all the pathogens. Then we release the water to the consumers. The old plant was completed, was done by Embu Water internal funding and was completed in 2009. That was Embu Water internal funding. There are many changes that came with the new plant. For instance, in the old plant, we used to mix chemicals using rods. You know, it was very manual. We used to stir using rods, vegeti. But in the new plant, in the mixing process, we just touch a button and then the mixing takes place. Again, in the new plant, there is a control panel. In the control panel, we can see what is happening in both plants. We can see how much are we receiving from the river. How much are we treating in the new plant? How much are we treating in the old plant? What is happening in the filters? Is there a filter that needs washing? We see all that in the new plant, in the control room, in the control panel. Again, we can see how much are we generating, or how much commercial power are we receiving, how much are we using. We can see all that in the control panel. So, and then the new plant came with a lot of water. We have a capacity of about 15,000 cubic meters per day. We can do 15,000 cubic meters per day. and also in the old plant also has a high capacity. So the new plant came with good tidings, but combined with the old plant, we have a lot of water for Embu County and quality water. The elevated tank is used for washing. Of course, I cannot forget to talk about the tests we do. We have applied the chemicals in the water, but we also ensure that we test the water for quality purposes every 2 hours, 24/7. We test our quality 2 hours per day, every day, every 2 hours. And then we do bacteriological analysis, of course, in the lab. Our elevated tank is used for backwashing of the filters. That is the core business of that tank. The filters will clog with mud once in a while, and so the effectiveness of the filtration process will go down. So we need to wash those filters. That's why we need the elevated tank, and it is also used for cleaning the plant. We use it in the kitchen, we use it in the washrooms. It is treated water and it is clean water. Lagoons are used for collecting all the dirty water in the plant, especially so when we do our filtration, our filters. When we clean our filters through backwash, all that water collects in the lagoons. Again, quarterly, we clean our sedimentation filtration tanks. We clean our coagulation sedimentation tanks quarterly. So, all that water, all that dirty water goes to the sludge lagoons. We use 2 lagoons, we have 4 in number. So we use 2 lagoons every time as we dry 2. And when the 2 are completely dry, then we scoop the sludge cake and we take it to the dump site. And then we engage the others.